7 days from now, SoFi stock is likely to start its next upward tear. The stock has really started to pick up steam over the last 6 months. In that time frame, the stock is up 118%, and year to date so far, which is less than a month, the stock is already up over 16% just this year in 2025. But the stock's been in a little bit of a chill out period since it's had that parabolic run up, over a double up, over 100% gain we've gotten. It's been in a chill out period since November 29th, 2024, all the way until today. The stock is only up 0.55%, less than 1%. So pretty much the stock is flat over the last 2 months or so. That's totally normal and natural for a stock that went parabolic to have a little bit of a chill out period. So this is not a bad thing for SoFi stock by any means, but within the next 7 days, I believe that SoFi is going to start its next upward tear. And we're going to talk about exactly why I think that is in this video. But first, if you're new here, welcome. I'm Austin. I'm a co-owner of cloudmusicsuite.com. I'm also a stock market investor. And most importantly for this video, I'm a long-time SoFi shareholder. Been holding the stock for multiple years, and I'm going to hold it for many, many years to go in the future. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, click that subscribe button and become one of those 5,800 or so people. We'd love to have you. And consider checking out the link in the description and the pinned comment down there to join the Patreon. We've got 83 members in the Patreon now. We'd love to have you before the first 100 members. In there, you can see what stocks I've bought so far this year, what stocks I'm currently holding, what stocks are on my watch list, and my entire research process and thoughts around building out a portfolio. Check it out with the first link in the description or the pinned comment down there. All right, let's jump into the video. So why do I think SoFi is going to start its next upward tear within 1 week from now? So there's a few reasons, and they all revolve around earnings and then guidance that the company's going to put out. So January 27th, 2025 at 8 a.m., SoFi is going to release their Q4 2024 and their full year 2024 results. And that is absolutely going to create some hype around SoFi. I do believe that Q4 was a very strong quarter for them, and we'll see that within 1 week. And I know for a fact that full year 2024 was an extremely strong year for them. It was a very pivotal year for SoFi stock. They went from being a money-losing company to a profit-generating company. Every single quarter in, they are EPS positive on a GAAP basis now. That is the holy grail of accounting principles. They have hit profits very consistently, and they've proven that they can be a profitable company, which many years ago was a huge criticism of SoFi stock, which I totally understand, but the path forward to profitability was always very clear to me, and I'm happy that the story played out how I thought it would, and honestly, it went way better than I thought it would, because the profit numbers are rolling in very, very nicely for SoFi. So in the Q4 report, I expect very similar growth numbers as we saw in Q3, and just to refresh our memory, Q3 2024, we had 34% year-over-year revenue growth, 122% net income growth, 117% diluted EPS growth, a 116% net margin increase, a ridiculous increase of 423% on operating income, and they were able to increase their cash on the balance sheet by 216% year over year. But the main thing I'll be looking for is the EPS numbers for Q4 and full year 2024. We're going to get another EPS positive quarter in Q4, and full year 2024 is going to be way more profitable than they expected at the end of 2023. Each year in the last quarter that they report for that year, they report the full year numbers, and they almost always, any good company is going to report their outlook for the next year. So for example, SoFi at the end of 2023, they reported their Q4 2023 numbers. They also reported full year 2023, and they gave outlook for all of 2024 and beyond. I want to check out the outlook numbers that they gave at the end of 2023 and compare them to what we're probably going to get in the full year report that we're about to get in 1 week. So at the end of 2023, part of their guidance was around GAAP EPS. They said that GAAP EPS was likely to be in the range of 7 cents to 8 cents for full year 2024. Let's check out what we've reported so far. Q1 2024, they reported 2 cents of EPS. Q2 of 2024, they reported 1 cent of EPS, and then Q3 of 2024, they reported 5 cents of EPS. And what's expected from analysts for Q4 of 2024 is 4 cents of EPS. So if we do a quick little bit of math, they had 2 cents Q1, 1 cent Q2, and 5 cents Q3. We're already at 8 cents of EPS, and that's just in the first 3 quarters that they reported in 2024. So that obviously doesn't take into account what's about to be reported in Q4 of 2024, which is expected to be 4 cents. But every single quarter so far, they've reported roughly 1 cent higher than what was expected. So if that trend continues in Q4 and they beat analyst expectations by about 1 cent, they will report roughly 5 cents of EPS in the quarter. So just adding that up, that would be 13 cents of EPS for full year 2024. That is 61% above the top end of their EPS guidance range. That's a huge number. That's a really important thing. They're going to beat analyst expectations every single quarter, and they're going to beat their own outlook. They're going to sandbag their outlook a little bit so that every single time they report a quarter, they can up that guidance, play Wall Street's game a little bit, and drum up some excitement around the stock so that the stock pricing can get the respect that it deserves. So that brings me to my next point about why I think SoFi is going to soar within the next week. The guidance that they're going to give for full year 2025. The numbers they put out are probably going to seem very ambitious, but then based on what we know about this management team's execution, they're going to come in and smash those numbers every single time. So let's say their guidance numbers for EPS are somewhere between 19 cents and 21 cents of EPS for full year 2025. That would represent somewhere around 50% EPS growth from 2024 to 2025, which is extremely respectable. When you have a stock that has 50% EPS growth, that stock is going to be able to command a premium valuation. That is a cream of the crop type of company right there. To be honest, I think their EPS growth is going to be much higher than 50%, but I would say that's what they're going to say in their outlook. And then quarters are going to tick by Q1, Q2, Q3, and we're going to see more quarters of SoFi coming in and beating their EPS numbers. They're going to prove over this year that one, not only can they stay profitable, but two, they're going to be able to beat analyst expectations and be more profitable than anyone on the street thinks they can be. A stock like that gets a lot of respect from the market. Stocks follow earnings over the long term. We've seen this very clearly with SoFi. SoFi stock was floundering for multiple years until they started to hit those EPS positive numbers. They hit one EPS positive quarter, they get a little bit of respect. 2, 3, 4, and the stock starts to soar like crazy. We got over 100% gain within a 6-month span like we saw earlier. That is because they're focusing on profits. The more they focus on profits, the more the street is going to respect them. And the more that stock price is going to go up, and we're going to get rewarded as shareholders. But remember, SoFi's not doing this while letting their revenue growth die. They've still got over 30% revenue growth on a quarterly basis. SoFi is a special company with a special management team that's been able to string together one of the longest runs of EPS and revenue beats I've ever seen from a public company. It'll be an exciting week for SoFi leading into their earnings. It lets us know where the market sentiment is going to be at with SoFi. None of that sentiment stuff is going to matter when we get the actual data though. When we get the actual data and we can actually run the numbers, because we get the Q4 results, we get the 2024 full year results, and we get the 2025 guidance, we can redo our models. We can redo and say, what's the forward PE going to look like for 2025? What's the forward PE going to look like for 2026, 2027, etc.? The forward PE looks extremely attractive for 2026 and 2027. It's the same forward PE as some of the biggest banks in America that are growing like 1% or 2% revenue, that are only able to eke out like 4 to 5% EPS growth, like Wells Fargo and Bank of America. Those stocks and SoFi are trading at the same forward PE when you look out 2 years, 2026 or 2027. I'm really excited to see these numbers. I will definitely be posting a video after these numbers come out, reacting to them. What do I think about them? What do I think about the 2025 guidance, etc., and how that updates my outlook for the company and what I think about whether the stock's overvalued, undervalued, fairly valued, etc., whenever we look out 1, 2, or 3 years from now based on that new EPS guidance. Make sure you subscribe so you can see that video when it comes out, and consider checking out the link in the description and in the pinned comment down there for the Patreon. Like I said, we have about 83 members in there. We'd love to have you before we hit that 100 member mark. Let me know if you think SoFi is going to beat on earnings, if they're going to meet on earnings, or if they're going to miss on earnings. I'm curious to hear what you think and whether or not you hold SoFi shares right now. Looking forward to seeing those comments. Definitely one of my favorite parts of posting here on YouTube is having some conversation with you guys down there in the comments section. I appreciate you being here in a major way. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day.